Hey guys, welcome back to Selenium 4 with Java February 2025 Batch online training session 11. In today's sessions, I'll cover how to read and write data in the Excel sheet with the help of data-driven framework and what is keyword and hybrid framework in Selenium. Keyword means keyword-driven framework. So in the last session you already seen about the framework concept and you also get to know about the data-driven framework and you already know how to read the data using Excel sheet with the help of the Apache POI dependency. But today we will not only read the data, we will also try to write the data in the Excel sheet, right? So we'll read the data as well as write the data. So data-driven framework is nothing, right? In case you want to execute that similar or same test case multiple time with different variety of the data, we can use the data-driven framework. So Apache POI is an open source library developed and distributed by the Apache Software Foundation to design or modify Microsoft Office file using Java program. It is a very popular API that allows working around the Excel file using Java program. In short, user can read and write MS Excel file using Java. Apache POI is the Java solution. So what is the precondition required? So definitely you require the Eclipse ID, you require the TestNG setup, right? The two dependencies required: Selenium Java and the dependency for POI and POI OXML and Microsoft Excel. So this is the part required. So in the last session you already know how to read and write the data. Okay, sorry, read the data from the Excel sheet with the help of the data-driven framework. So let's try to read and write the data as well. So this is the right framework, Facebook login credential Excel sheet we have created. Okay, so in the last session we have tried to read the data through the row column wise, and we did not given any kind of header that day, right? But today I want to keep as a header. This row, first row will be my header, and second row onward, like I want to read the data, and maybe in another next new column I want to write the data as well. So this is the way I will be performing the data-driven framework update here. Okay, so what is the way I have written the code already? So for that one, definitely if you go, same project I am using. So if you go to the pom.xml files, right, I am using the Selenium Java dependency, I am using the Apache POI dependency, which you already learned in the last sessions, and I am also adding that POI OXML dependency. So that part I already let you know in the last session, that if you go to the right Maven repository folder, after that you can type like POI OXML or Selenium Java, you will get the dependency there, and you need to add it under the dependencies tag, whatever you required for the Maven dependency. You need to save it automatically, all the jar file, whatever required, it will be automatically stored in your project, and you will be able to see here in the Maven dependencies sections, right? Whatever Selenium or Apache POI dependency you are adding, you will be able to see it, all the right, POI XML or POI, all this part. So that is the first thing we need to do. After that, whatever way we have tried to run the code, different approach we have taken this time. So I am defining something global variable for the WebDriver interface, and I am creating a variable for the XSF workbook and XSF sheet, and I also creating a new variable for XSF cell class. These are the class available in the right Apache POI jar file. Then I am creating like before test and after test. In the before test I am creating a method called setup. In the real time, that is the will be doing it, setup method, where I am just opening the Chrome driver, I am maximizing it. And in the after test I am creating a method called tear down, which is actually responsible for quitting the browser every time whenever it is opening. And I am creating a method here, Facebook login page, where I am trying to enter some value in the Facebook username and password field, and I am also trying to update the value once execution is done successfully. So what I am doing, I am opening that Facebook page, and I am creating the object for the file class, where I am giving the path of the file which I want to interact. So how can you get to know the file path? I already let you know in the last session. Just go to the file, Excel file, select the file, right click, go to the properties, you will be getting the path here. This is the Excel sheet name, and this is the extension. So path / Excel sheet name dot extension dot xlx you need to give it. So it will load the file. right? It will be navigating to the file and load the file. After that, I am creating a object for file input stream, because that is the way I want to read the file first. File input stream, and I am giving the file difference. Then I am going to the, I already came to the file worksheet right here. Now I go to the worksheet, workbook. What is the workbook? Test data is the workbook. So how can I get it? I'll be going to that, taking the reference of the FIS, and I am creating an object workbook which already declared as a global variable. So that is the way I am coming to the workbook. This is nothing but the file complete name of the file with workbook extension. Then I need to go to the worksheet. So how I will be coming here? This is my tab or worksheet tab. This is the 0th index, because only one sheet is available. So I can go with the indexing part. So where I am calling it get sheet at, which index 0, because this is only one worksheet is available. In case multiple is available, you can go with 0, 1, 2. Otherwise, you can use the sheet name exactly, because in the real time, in case you are having 20, 30 tab or sheet right in the any any workbook, so it will be very tough to identify with the indexing. And also sometime, right, someone changes the position, it will be also creating the noise. So better to go with the real time with the sheet name. So that part I will be covering in today's. After that, I am getting the row count, how many row data is available, get last row number, that you already seen in the last session. Then here I am giving another approach called starting with I equal to 1. Why? Because this is the first row I have kept as a header perspective, which I will not call. But why I am giving the information to any user, so that they can understand what is my objective, right? Which data I am interacting. So if this is the called header, I am letting the know first column is for username, second column is the password field, and third column where I need to update the test result once execution is done. And second row onward, my data will be there, which will be used for the data driven framework. So username 1, password 1 combination, username 2, password 2 combination, username 3, password 3 combination. And here I will try to write the data along with the reading part. So what I am going, after that I already created a variable for the XSF cell. So I already came to the worksheet here, right, loading the sheet in which data is stored. After that I am getting the row number, how many row data is available in the worksheet, and I am reiterating the I equal to 1, so that 0th row or the first row I am keeping it for the only for the header perspective. Then I am, with the help of the worksheet, I am trying to iterate every row and every cell from the 0th row, 0th cell, for the first cell. So which will already give me that username field, right? And then I am converting the string, and I am identifying that with the help of the email ID, which is already available for the email field. And every time I am clearing it, after that I am entering the value, whatever value I am storing from the Excel sheet or getting from the Excel sheet. Similarly, for the second column, which is the password field, I am trying to same approach. I am trying to update the password field as well. And now within the same loop, I will be waiting for some time, 30 seconds, 3 seconds. After that, once my execution is done, I want to update the Excel sheet as well, because I will be using same for loop. I will not be using a different for loop. So what I will be doing, I need to call the file output stream, because I want to update the value. So file input stream for reading the value, file output stream is nothing but for the updating the value, right? Whatever column I have written, this is the column I want to update the value, whatever value you want to update, like test successful or pass. So which value I want to update, I have made as a variable called pass. So similar way, whatever way I have reading the value, I am going to the worksheet tab. For every I am creating a new cell. Cell is already there, but this is the cell value. I want to update the value. So I am creating a new cell, which is nothing but 0th cell, first cell, and second cell. So this is my difference. Create cell 2. Set value. What value I want to set? Test result variable. What is the variable value? Pass. And then I am just writing that value in the workbook. So that is the line of code I have written. Now let's close the Excel, because if you want to read and write the data, so Excel should be always closed. Now let's try to run the code. Run as TestNG test. You can also run from the TestNG.xml file also by giving that reference of the class. So this will be entering the value. We'll wait for 3 seconds. It will clear again. It will again enter the value. Again it will be waiting for 3 seconds and clear the value. It will close the browser. Okay, because it is considered a single test case only here. And now if you go to the Excel sheet, you will able to see the differences, because I want to update the value as well along with the reading. You could see that past status has been updated, whatever string value I have given to update. So that is the way you can read and write the data from the Excel sheet. Now let's try to run for more iteration. Instead of 3 iteration, let's try to run for 5 iteration or 6 iteration or whatever. Let's again save the thing. I am again reiterating the code whatever way I have written. So I am creating the class here, right? I want to interact with the data driven framework, and I want to read and write the data from the Excel sheet now. So I'm creating global variable, web driver, and XSF workbook, XSF worksheet, XSF cell. This is the class. I'm creating the variable, and I'm taking the help from the TestNG class. I'm creating a before test and after test, so that every scenario before test and after test will be executed. Before test, actually generally in the real time framework, you need to rename the method name called a setup, where you will be creating an object or instance for the Chrome driver. You will maximize the driver, and in the after test you can create the method called tear down, because it will close the browser. That is the framework syntax we need to use. And now this is my test case. My test case method name is Facebook login page, where I am opening the Facebook page, and after that I am creating object or instance for the file class, where I am navigating to the Excel sheet path completely along with Excel sheet name and extension. And as now I want to read the data, so what I am doing, I am taking help from the file input stream, and I am going to the workbook, and after that I am going to the worksheet, because here only one sheet is available. So I am giving the index name as 0th index. I am getting the how many row count data is available, but here in the first row I am keeping as a reference for the, so that user can understand what is the row all about, what are the data I am putting. So that is the row I am giving as a reference. I don't want to interact that row. I want to give as a header so that everyone can understand. So that is the reason here I am starting with I equal to 1, and I am interacting, right? Every time I am getting some value, I am clearing it. And for the column also other field, password and username, because this is the two field I want to interact. Now I want to update the value as well. So I am taking help from the file output stream, and I want to update some variable result called, I am storing in some strings test result variable. And after that, similar way I am going to the worksheet, and for get every row I am iterating, and I am trying to update the value in the new cell, which is nothing but the cell 2, right? 0th cell, first cell, and second cell, cell 2, and I want to update the value called set value called test result. What is test result? That is nothing but the pass, and I want to just write the workbook, and I want to close it. So that's all. Okay. So now if I just close it, so now if I run execute it, so it will run for 5 different data combination, and it will update the value also accordingly. So that is the way your data driven framework help you to interact with the Excels, not only the reading the value, apart from that you can read and write the value simultaneously based on your requirement. So it is going for all the variation whatever you already given. And after that you will close the browser once all the operation completed, because that is the thing I have written in the after test. So this is the way in the real time also you will be using that before test, after test. Before test is nothing but setup method to launch the browser to maximize it, and after test nothing but the tear down method. And in case you are working with some common user ID URL also, you can add this URL also here in the setup method, so that, or login ID, username, password, also some common stuff you can just do it, so that every test case will take that as a reference before proceeding any test case execution. So that is the way your setup and tear down method will help in the real time. Now let's open the Excel sheet whatever we have written, created. You could see everywhere all the relevant row past data has been updated. So that is the way you are not only reading the data, you are simultaneously also writing the data also from the Excel sheet. So that is the way data driven testing framework will help you to read and write the data from the Excel sheet. Any questions here? Yeah, just go through the code and practice it couple of times so you could understand more. Okay, I mean I already told, right, this is the framework part, so it is not very easy, but if you go through a couple of times you can understand the logic, then it will be help you to learn it easily. Then I will cover the remaining two important framework, which is the keyword driven framework and hybrid framework. So data driven framework objective is that, like, we will be using the different data combination and we will execute same test case with the different data combination. That is the objective of data driven framework. But keyword driven framework objective is different here. So keyword driven framework is a technique in which all the operation and instruction to be performed are written separately from the actual test case. The similarity it has with the data driven framework is that the operations to be performed is again stored in some external file like Excel sheet. User can easily control and specify the functionality they want to test. Here if you want to understand the diagram, so you could see again, right, all the keyword, right, or the actions you will be placing in some external source. Okay, and your automation script will be there, and with the help of automation script you will be interacting with the AUT. So your keyword library, all the keyword call actions or operation, that will be stored in different entity, maybe in Excel sheet, other stuff, and you will be interacting with that automation script with the actual test. So what are the advantage? You can write a single keyword which can work in n number of way. So single keyword can be used across multiple test script, so the code is usable. User can write the detailed test plan having desired input and verification data in the form of simple and convenient spreadsheet. In case some expert having expertise of scripting language used by the automation tool, they can create utility script well before the creation of the detailed test plan. So that is the beauty of the keyword driven framework. So data driven framework, what is the challenges? Once your application is not ready, then how you can use the data driven framework? Because your code, at least your flow should be working fine only. Because in case your flow is working, then you can execute that test case n number of time. But you are saying in case your application is not ready at all, then it is not preferred with the data driven framework. Preference is that your keyword driven framework. So you can create the schema, skeleton before your application is ready, and after your application is ready, you can change the couple of stuff. Because as and when a requirement is coming, in the actually it is called in sprint testing, will be using that keyword driven framework much more. Why? Because in sprint testing you are doing, right, every sprint you will be getting the requirement, and after that developer will be doing the development and parallelly you will be writing the test cases scenarios. Similarly, parallelly you can also develop the framework. Okay, but right, you do not know that how many object is there, what is the object, like properties or element, all this part you can not know, but you can still create your framework. Once your application is available, after that you can quickly inspect and you can fix your code, you can update your code, then you can run it. So before your product is ready, your application is not available, still with the help of the requirement, you can still try to frame your code or structure, and after that you can proceed. So that is the beauty, right, of the keyword driven framework. So user become productive with the new testing tool for quickly, since they require to understand the format for use in the detailed test plan and various desired keyword. This permit deformated on rescheduling of more exhaustive test training on new tools at some more convenient time in future. So what is the disadvantage? Not only about the keyword driven framework or data driven framework or hybrid, mostly majority of the disadvantages are very much similar. The first thing is that, right, they would require that extensive knowledge. Without the knowledge, nobody can work in the Selenium tool, because, right, they need to understand the framework, they need to understand the programming language, they need to understand the tools. So tools, technology, framework and the programming language is required. It does not matter like whether you are working with Selenium Java, Selenium CS, Selenium Python, Selenium JavaScript, whatever. So all the required knowledge will be required. So they need, and definitely as part of the framework, so initial cost will be more, because you need to invest the time or right cost, right, in setting up the path, framework part. So initial cost of setting up the framework is high and it is time consuming and complex, but, right, for the longer run you can make them, right, and get the actual benefit, right, your ROI will be positive then. In case you want to execute same test case again and again and again, definitely initially though you are spending additional amount and time, but later point of time you can easily get the real time benefit. So tester is required to have get expertise over the scripting language of the test tool, so that they successfully create customized functions and utility required for the application, although the testament is valid for any other automation tool as well. The tester is required to learn several special formats and keywords for creating the customized utilities required for the application. The process can take considerable time and can have adverse effect on the test plan development. However, this problem arises in the beginning only, and when the tester get enough acquaintance with the process, they will be able to create test cases much faster. So initial time, definitely in case you are enabling all your resources with the relevant training, definitely they will be adequate, and slowly they will gas fit, and after that they can be like SME or the subject matter expert in the automation tools and framework as well. Then what is the difference between the data driven and the keyword driven framework? So data driven framework, we are only differentiating the test data and the script, but framework in the keyword driven framework will be having more layer. Okay, and like like it will skip maintenance will be very easy. So, okay, so it keyword driven framework is easy to maintain due to more abstraction layer between test script, test data, and keyword, etc. Data driven framework comparatively harder to maintain since the abstraction is only between the test data and the test script. In keyword driven framework, planning has to be extensive and precise for keyword driven framework, whereas planning is easy since it's only needed the test data and the test script for the data driven framework. Keyword driven framework is like it is easily possible to write test script even before the product has finished development stage, but for the data driven framework, one must need to wait for the development to finish before writing the test case and execute it. So this is the couple of major like differences between the data driven and the keyword driven framework in the real time as well. What is keyword driven framework? Sorry, hybrid framework. As of now, we learned about the data driven and keyword, but what is hybrid? Hybrid is nothing but a combination of both keyword and data driven framework. So most of the real times, like people will be using the hybrid framework, so we can only abstract that all the keyword. Apart from that, we can also vary the same execute same test case with different data combination. So it is a combination of both keyword and hybrid framework. So hybrid framework in Selenium is a concept where testers are using the advantage of both keyword driven framework as well as data driven framework. It is an easy to use framework which allows manual tester to create test case by just looking at the keyword, test data, and object repository without coding in the framework. Here the keywords as well as the test data are externalized, means it can be in the database or CSV file or Excel sheet. Keywords are maintained in separate Java class files, and test data can be maintained either in a properties file, Excel file, or can be use the data provider of a TestNG framework. What are the primary advantage of keyword of hybrid automation framework? So definitely maintainability is one of the primary key. So hybrid framework significantly reduces the maintenance effort due to the like we are having more abstraction layer, and we are also implementing both data driven and keyword. That is the way maintainability will be like easier, and we write from the regular maintenance perspective, we need to invest very less effort there, and we can easily maintain. Reusability, it allows to reuse test case and library functions easily. Manageability, we can do effective test design execution, and we can also keep a track of the testability part. Accessibility, it is easy to design, develop, modify, and debug test case while executing, because we'll be creating all together different. We'll be having our properties file different, we'll be having our test cases different, we'll be having our other external classes different, we'll be having our main class different. That is the way. Availability, it will also allow to schedule automation execution. Reliability, due to the advanced error handling and scenario recovery features, reliability is more whenever you will be using the hybrid framework. Flexibility, the framework independent of the system or environment under test. It does not matter which environment you are using or the frame or system you are using. Measurability, like with the frameworks later point of time, we can have the like customized reporting of the test result, ensuring that the quality of the output properly. So this is the about all this part of the today's part, and now I will go try to develop some framework like data driven, sorry, keyword driven, and the hybrid framework from the scratch. So this framework already developed, so I will go through and so that you can understand thoroughly. So this is the keyword driven and hybrid framework created. So first you can create a project. Okay, first thing is that you can create a Maven project. Once your project is created, right, automatically your form.xml file will be created. This is the couple of steps you need to do. Create a Maven project. After that, open that form.xml file and add 3 primary dependencies: Selenium Java, Apache POI dependency, and POI OXML dependency. These are the three dependencies required. Only first thing. Okay. So after creating the Maven project, you can give any name, right, in the artifact ID and group ID, and after that you need to add these three dependency under the dependency sections, which is the Selenium Java dependency. Latest version you can use Apache POI dependency and POI OXML dependency. Okay. Then next thing is that, like, you need to add the TestNG framework to your project. So right click here, go to the properties. You already learned Java build path. You can click on the add library and you can add it. It's already added in my project, so TestNG need to be added. So all your TestNG and all your Maven dependency will be added here. After that, you can go to the src test Java folder and you can create couple of package. So I have created a package like Excel export and file IO, so that I could create a class where I can write all the important method for interacting with the Excels, and I can create another package called operations, and I can create another package called where I'll be keeping all my test case. So this is the second step. After creating the project, add the TestNG library, add all the three dependency, like for the Apache POI, POI OXMLs and Selenium Java, and create couple of package in the src test Java. One is for handling Excel properties, creating a class for handling the Excels. One is operations, whatever operation, keyword operation will be writing, and one is for test case. Then second thing, suppose say I want to automate some of the page. Okay, this is the page I want to automate, ready page. Okay, so definitely I'll be having all the elements, right? I know the all the element, like, and page by page I can have the all the element here. Okay, and this is my URL, and this is the way, right, I can have the element differences. Okay, so here if you go, if you just interact here, right, if you press F12 button or right click here and go to the inspect, okay, let's go here. Open here and press F12 button. Okay, now you can interact with any of the fields, say, like I can go here and I can write interact here. So similarly all the way, right, you can get all the properties, right, what are the element locators available. So first I'll be creating, this is my email ID field, right, and I am knowing that this is the name as login. Suppose that this is the password field, right, I know that, like a type the name as password or ID is password, right. This is my login field, right, or forget password link. So this is the way, right, I can get some forget password link text, right. This is my another link called get a new ready by ID. So I can either take it from the link text or partial link text. So that is the way I can have all the, right, element locators here in the properties. I can create something called object properties. How I'll create it? Right click here and the project level. So this object properties in the project level. So right click here, click on new and click on here file. Okay, and you can give some name called object, and extension should be always dot properties, PROPERTIS. So that is the way I have created the object properties file. And if you open it, you could see I have given the URL, which is nothing but the ready URL, right. This is the URL I have given because that is the thing I want to change it from only one place, so that I don't need to change other place in case sometime today's URL got changed. So I can only change it here in the properties file. Similarly, I have created some variable name, user name, and where I am trying to give the exact element locator value. So login value is giving. I am not giving the name part. I will be explaining at a later point of time. So all the value whichever I want to interact, I am giving it. Okay, the password element locator value I am giving. Okay, you could see password, PASSWD or password. So ID is there, right, password. Similarly, sign in button, forget password. This is the variable name. You can give by your own variable name, but this is called element locator value. Maybe ID or name or class name value, you can give it here. So this is the variable name you can give by your own, but this is the thing you need to take it from the object reference or the element locator value. Now I have created a test case. So how can you create a test case? You can just create a simple test case and you can simply go to the project. How can you go to the project? Right click here. Right click on the project. Go to the properties simply. Go to the source. Sorry, go to the Java build path. No. Go to the resources and you will be getting the project path here, right? Copy it simply. Windows R, paste it here and enter. You could see. This is the Excel sheet. You can create in your desktop. After that you can place simply in the project. So that is the way better. Okay, otherwise you can create the Excel sheet as well, but it will take some time. Okay, and maybe it will not be easily you can update it. So after that you can place in the project path, not any folder. So your properties file and your test case file will be kept inside the project, not any within the any package or any folder. It's inside the project, right? Now I can open it. Whatever way I have developed my test case, try to understand now. So I have created a couple of columns. So this is the test case column. First column is test case column. Second column is the keyword. Third column is the object variable name. Fourth column is the object element locator technique. And fifth column is in case I want to enter some value. So this is the only 5 column I have written. And this is my Excel sheet. I have given some Excel sheet name. And this is the Excel sheet workbook name I have given. Sorry, worksheet name. This is the workbook name, test case, right? And this is the worksheet name. In case I have multiple worksheet as well, that not be a problem. So now what logic I am writing here? Whenever I am giving any scenario name, that row I am keeping as a blank value. I will let you know the logic why I have written it. And similarly, whenever I am trying to do some operation, that time here I am not giving any test case. You could see. So this is my test case, all the 5 row. But for the first row, whenever I am giving the test case name, other column I am keeping is a blank. And whenever I am trying to add some value in the other 4 column, I am keeping this first column as blank. Similarly, this is my second test case, this is my third test case, this is my fourth test case. As of now, I have written 4 test case. Later point of time, you can have more number of test case. So just you need to update the Excel sheet. And in case some of the new keyword you are adding, you need to just implement that. That's all. So here, first is the keyword. So keyword also you need to give it by your own. It is not coming from the framework. I am again telling you need to give it by your own. So I am given something that I want to navigate to the URL. I want to load that Redip URL. So I have given the keyword name as navigate to the URL. So whenever I am navigating to the URL, I do not want to interact any object. I simply give that URL to the driver.get URL, right? I need to simply give the URL reference. From where URL reference will be coming? Coming here. So I am creating that variable name URL, and that variable name also need to match it here. Right? And that is the value will be coming from here. This is the properties file is nothing but the hash map. Right? Is a key value pair combination. Key is your attribute and then value will be coming. Key and value pair combination. Now, second keyword I am trying to declare is set text. Because whenever I am opening the page, in the username and password field, I want to add the value. So I am giving the method so that everyone can understand. It is also customized. I am giving in my own. Instead of set text, you can change it something like enter data in text field also. You can create the method, keyword. That will not be a problem. But objective is that I want to enter some value in the edit field. And this object variable name should also match with here. Whatever you are given. This is the variable name. You will be giving by your own. But you need to map with here. That is the couple of stuff you need to remember. Right? Method name also need to map it here. Later point of time I will let you know. But this is the variable. Right? object means the variable name, suppose username, you can give your uname as well, but here also it should be uname, because that is also given by you, not your anything. So this variable name also you need to give it. Now object type you need to give it accordingly, because for the username field I have tried to identify with the help of the name element locator. So that is the reason I have given name, and this is by name value login. For password field I tried to identify it with the help of the ID locator. What is the ID value is password, right? Then sign in button I wanted to identify it with the class name element locator. Sign in, what is the class name value was there? Sign in button. So similarly it was already there for the other test, so I now need to write it again. But for the click forget password again is new thing is coming. So I want to identify the help of the link. So what is the link? Forget password, exact part I have given it here. And then again I want to create a click on that create ready mail ID or ID, that button. So this variable name I have given called create new ready account, and I want to interact with the partial link text, right? So I have given that partial link text new ready ID instead of the whole part. And this is the operations click. Whenever there is a link, hyperlink checkbox, I want to click on that one. So this is the keyword I have declared, right? And I will define those keyword later point of time, as an object type also defined. You can give it like something class reference, but that you can map later point type in the framework part. But better to give it like name, ID, class name, so that was the way it will be giving you easy reference. So no need to concentrate about that exact uppercase, lowercase, that will be defining in the framework itself. So here I have written couple of keywords: navigate to URL, set text, and click. Whatever test case I want to execute, this is the keyword will work still. In case you are having more keyword, you can add it, right? And then whatever will be using it one time, so you need to just update only one time after that automatically. And the beauty is that in case you need to update it here, you will just only updating only one time, so automatically your framework will be updated. No need to worry about that. And this is your element locator, and this is the value you want to give it. For URL I am taking it from here. This is common, because other value it is not the hard coded, not that thing I will be changing it every time. So I want to update it from here. I want value will be taking it from the Excel sheet, because for the username password field I want to enter some value. So that is the reason I am giving the value. URL also, navigate to the URL, I want to give that URL which will be coming from here, properties file. But whenever I want to click on the sign in button, no value is required, because I am performing the operations without entering value, so I am giving it blank. So similarly, if I want to click on the sign in button again, it's blank. In click I want to click on the forget password link, also no value is required, because I am just want to click on that. In case you want to check a checkbox, all this stuff, you don't need to give the value. So that is the way, right? You can write, and after that you can have n number of test cases at a point of time. Okay, so I'll be explaining this code again, guys. What I have did so far, try to understand step by step. I have created a Maven project first. I have added the 3 dependencies: Selenium Java, Apache POI, POI OXML, and I have added the TestNG library into the project. That's all. So automatically my TestNG and the Maven dependency will be added to the project. After that I have went to that src test Java folder. I have created a couple of packages there, and there in the package I will be creating the class at a point of time. I have created object.properties files where I will be giving all the references, variable name and the corresponding value. Variable name I will be give my own, and I am creating a testcase.xlx files. Okay, in the project itself I am giving some worksheet name, and I am creating couple of columns here. So first column is nothing for my test cases. Second column is nothing where I am writing the keywords. Third column is nothing but the object variable, whatever I have given in that same thing, whatever I have given in the properties file. Fourth column is nothing but the object type, element locator type, which you need to identify it, and that should map here. Not map means that name value should be mapped here. In case I am giving something called class name, right, element locator, that class name should be mapped here. So that is the way mapping should happen. And in the value column, in case you want to give some hard-coded value, you want to pass some value from the properties file, you need to give it. But value should be only applicable wherever the value will be pushing, right? You will be giving some value. But in case doing some operation wherever no value is required, then the value column should be blank. So here one tactic we are following. Whenever we want to writing the test case reference, relevant column I am keeping is blank, and whenever I am doing the operations, like I am keeping that test case column as blank. So far any questions here? I'll explain it if required one more time. Because other code is really complicated. It's not easy. Are you good?
Sir, Java code we are not using in this keyword-driven framework.
Sorry?
Keyword-driven framework, Java code we are not using script.
Yeah, we'll be using. Other thing is there, man. It is just the basic skeleton created, na?
Okay, I thought like Excel will perform all the.
No. How? Excel, it will not able to understand Selenium, right? So we need to make them understand with the help of the Java programming. Okay, this is the basic skeleton. Okay. Now we'll go one by one. So this is the 3 package created. So first thing is that I want to create a file here, create a Java class, right click, create a normal Java class here, and you can give some name called read properties file. So whatever properties file I have added, that I want to read first. So read properties file dot Java class I have created. So if you open it, okay, there is a properties class available in Java. I am creating object. Right, after that global object, after that I am creating a method to read that object repository, where I am taking help from the input stream, right, new input stream, and here I am giving that path. What is this path means? I am not giving any hard-coded path, right, C dive all this stuff. Why? Because in case you want to give that path, system.getProperties user.directory means it will give your current path, project path. So that is the reason why I am giving it, because tomorrow you want to import it, right, from the GitHub repository, and if you want to run it from here, so it will still run, because you are giving that current project path. It is not someone C dive, D dive location path. So how can you get it? If you see, right, simply system.getProperty user.directory, if you just try to run it, so it is giving you the output called current path. So it will vary. In case you are importing it, it will be giving your path. So this is the way it is giving you current project path, wherever it is here. So in case you are writing it, you will give your current project path, not my current project path. So that is unique. So it will be not anyone specific system, it will be based on your specific system. So that part will give you still here. So that is the reason we will be real time, we will be using that, right, system dot to get the current project, but after that we are concatenating object dot properties file to read it. Object is the name and dot properties is the extension. So that is the way I am coming here and I am coming here to read it with the help of the input stream. After that there is a method called load. I am loading it, I am returning P. What I am returning P? P is nothing but the properties. So that is the way I am returning property. So that is the way I will be loading all the details into the framework. That is my first method I need to create. Sorry, first class. So I am loading all the properties details in the framework. That part is done. Whatever I have written in the properties here. Now I will be creating one more class in the operations package, which is for keyword operation, whatever I have defined in the Excels. Okay. So what is my keyword? This is my keyword. What is the object I have defined it here? So what I will doing, whenever you are creating a class called operations, you can define something called web-driver. After that you can create a constructor. You could see same name as the class name, and where you can pass again another variable, but this dot driver equal to match, this operation you need to create it. So that this driver and whatever providing it through argument, that should match in the constructor. So this is the line of code you need to always write it. So this is the webDriver.driver. You are making it globally. But whenever you are calling that constructor in the other class, right, you need to pass that webDriver reference. Now this dot driver and this dot driver I am making it same. So this dot driver is nothing but the web driver reference, and this driver is nothing but this driver reference. You could see whenever I am selecting here, this is selecting here. So you can give some different name, but you should give the same name, so that automatically the real-time framework it should map. Otherwise, your driver reference will not match; it will throw the error. So this is the line of code you need to run it, add it in the constructor. Then I'll be writing a method here to get the object. Right, whatever you are writing, driver dot find element by dot name, class name, expert, that I need to map from the Excel. How I'll be mapping? So this is the method I have created. This is a private method. I already told in the real time we'll be using the that encapsulation. So public class private method, so that right you need to use the getter and setter part, so that nobody can change it. Okay, the method name is get object, where I am taking the help from the properties class, whatever I have written in the properties file. Then object name and object type. What is my object name? This is my object name, and this is my object type. This part I'll be mapping it. Now you could see, if object types equal ignore case XPath, in case something I am defining XPath name, ID, class name, XPath, all this stuff, returning by dot XPath, right? Whatever I'll be writing the code, p dot get properties and object name, like by dot XPath and the value I'll be entering. So that part I am matching it. So whatever variable name you can give it here, that does not matter, but I am mapping it with that one, by dot XPath, which is Selenium syntax. Driver dot find element by dot XPath, by dot class name, by dot CSS. So whatever value you can give, that does not matter. But you want to match with that, where you are matching with lowercase, uppercase, whatever you can give, but it is converting to ignoring equal case, and it is matching with that XPath syntax. So you can give it here Selenium XPath as well. So that does not matter, but at the end of that it is trying to match with the Selenium syntax. Now similarly, if you give the right class name, it will match with the ignoring case class name. All the thing I am mapping it here: name, ID, CSS, link, partial link, whatever way I want to do. If you want to use tag name also, you can add it. Okay, so that is the way I'll be mapping all my element locator techniques, whatever coming from the Selenium, in that method. Then I'll be writing one more method to do the operations. Whatever operation I have defined, that I need to define now. In case you are adding new operation, again you need to add it here, update it here. So what operation I have written so far? Like navigate to URL, set text and the click. So I'll map it here now. So here you need to again use the properties class. You need to get some variable from the operations or the keyword, then object, data type, as well as the value. All the columns I'll be considering here for the operation part, not the test case part. So I'll be using some switch case. So in case it is equal to case, right, converting the uppercase lowercase part, in case it is equal to click, what I will do, I will using driver dot find element. Then here this dot get object is nothing but the by dot name or class name or XPath, like that, and I will try to do the operation called click. Driver dot find element, and this part will be coming from remaining my next one, right? By dot XPath and the value, and then I will be doing the click operation. So it will break as and when it is matching with the click. Then in case my case is matching with set text by ignoring equal case, so what I will do, I will do driver dot find element by dot name, XPath or class name, send keys, and what I will pass, I will pass the value variable. In case it is navigate to URL, so I will simply calling driver dot navigate to URL, and then only value, I don't need to give any kind of object or object ID. That is the reason you could see it is only driver dot get and then only URL value from the properties, and I am giving the break. And in case you are having another couple of methods, you can again add it here in the case statement. So that is the way all the keyword operation will be here. I am reiterating again these two parts, whatever I have written. First thing is that I want to load all the properties, keep a value pair comment in the framework. So what I have did, I have creating a object for the Java properties class. I am using the input stream where I am giving the file right reference of that object or properties. I am loading it. That's my done. Then keyword operations I want to do, I have created a class, I am creating a constructor. Whatever webdriver.driver I have defined only one time, and here I am also passing driver difference in the constructor, and those two driver I am mapping it. This dot driver equal driver, so that those driver will understand each everyone. I am creating a method called getObject where I am trying to understand from the properties class reference, and this is the way I am trying to understand every object name and whatever way it want to interact and whatever way it will get the value driver dot find element by dot xpath and corresponding value. And here I am trying to create a method which will be dealing with all the four column, the method of the keyword operations, what is the operation objective, and which object you are operating, which value it is taking, and what value it is passing. So that is the way. In case it is a click, I will driver dot find element. This is nothing but the by dot class name, CSS name, and the corresponding value, and the click is the operation. Set text is nothing, driver dot find element, and here I can give it that anything like by dot name, class name, xpath, anything, and the value. And here I am sending the key. What is the value I am providing? This is the value variables. And another one I have written navigate to URL. So in case you are having n number of methods or operations or keyword, you can define it here only one time activity. So it will be unique only. So later point of time, if you want to change it, you can change it only here one place. So that is the two things you need to do it. Then why I am creating multiple packages, so you can easily understand. You can create a single package as well. That is not a problem. But in the real-time framework, you need to distinguish with different package, so that debugging part will be easy. Anyone can gone through what problem happened, they can also understand. Then this two part is done. I have defined that keyword part, right? I have tried to load all the properties file as well. Now I want to interact with the Excel sheet, right? I want to interact with the Excel sheet. So I am defining all the important method for interact with the Excel sheet into that one, right? Read Excel file keyword, or you can give another name. Okay. What I am doing, I am going to the sheet here. This is the sheet I am going. So how I will going? You could see I have created the method name called read Excel, where I am giving the file path, file name, and the sheet name. What is my file path? The file path is nothing but the project. What is my file name? File name is nothing but the testcase.xlx. What is my seed name? Seed name is nothing but the keyword framework. Right? So this is the way I am trying to read it. So I am creating a file class where I am giving the file path plus file name along with the extension. I am using file input stream again. I am going to the workbook and I am going to the sheet, data sheet which I am returning. So still I am come to here with this part. So this is the way I am mapping. So whatever you already learned so far, this is nothing new. Then now I will try to write my test case with all the three important class whatever I have written so far. So I will first understand the keyword driven framework, which will read based on the keyword. Okay, this is my test cases name, class name, and I am defining something called webdriver. I am using again before test and after test whatever you have learned so far, and this is my test case. Test case is test ready page, and now whatever classes I have created, right? I am creating object for every class. You could see there is the object I have created to create it. And whenever I am creating an object here, this is the constructor I am calling. So I am giving that webdriver reference here. So first I am creating the object read Excel file, and this is my object name. Read properties file, right? I am creating the object, and properties is nothing but here, right? We are directly calling that get object repository method. You could see here we are calling object reference of the properties class and calling that method. So I will be getting all the object from the properties class now with the help of this variable. And again I am creating a method for the keyword operations, right? Object. So this is the way I am created for reference. All the three class object reference I am creating another object reference where I am getting the properties for the properties class, properties file. Then I already created another class called read file Excel. So already this method I am calling. This thing I am trying to call it here. Okay, you could see sheet. I am calling. So file is my reference of the class. Then I am calling the read Excel method, whatever I have written. You could see. So whenever I am calling the read Excel method, I need to give the file path, file name, and the seed name. So I am giving it here simply. What is my file name? User.directory, complete project path. What is my seed name? test case.xlx. What is my seed name? This is the keyword framework, right? This is the file name, this is the workbook name, test case.xlx, and this is the seed name. So that is the way I am reading the complete seed and coming to the seed variable. Then I am trying to read that row, how many row data is available. So I can go to the seed, I can get the last row number, I can get the first row number. I need to add +1. Why? Because last row and first row will give you the one less count. In case your first row is 1 and last row is 20, so your value is still 20th row, 1 to 20. But if you just get the difference 20 minus 19, 20 minus 1, it will be giving you 19. So you need to add 1 to get the exact row count, how many row data is available. So last row minus first row plus 1. So it will give you the exact row count. Now I am creating a for loop. Okay, I am starting with I equal to 1. Why? Because this is my first row. Again, I have keep it as a reference of the header. I don't want to read it here. I have given as a reference. From second row onward I will be reading. So I have given I equal to 1 instead of I equal to 0. And it will go till row minus 1 1. So I will be going to the row here, every row variable. Now I am giving the condition here. This is my main objective of the test case. Very carefully understood it. If row, whenever I came to the row, this row from here, because first row I am keeping as a header perspective, right? You could see whenever row dot get cell 0, this is my 0 cell, this is my first row. So whenever this, right, dot length after converting it to equal to 0, means whenever there is no value available, means from here I will be trying to do the operations. Whenever this field is not having a value, means it is blank. So those are the field we are having the operations only. So whenever this equal to 0, I will try to do the operation based on the operation I have written, right? Operation methods, variable I am calling, and perform all object dot cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4, like that. This is the 4 operation I want to perform. Whatever I already written there. And whenever it is matching, so those part I can just simply update that test case reference. Like this is the P part. After that you will take the exact value from the row, converting a string, and this is the post thing I want to add it. Means new test case executed, started, and test case name. I'll be explaining it one more time. Let's try to run it. Let's close the Excel sheet. Let's run it. It is opening the ready page. It is trying to enter the email ID password field for the first test case. Okay. Again, second test case executing, clicking on the other link. Every time to close the browser. It is doing fast. Right? This is the 5 test case run totally, but it is still showing as a 1 test case because we are doing the keyword driven framework. You could see what is the output is coming. So for the test case level, it is adding new test case, and this is the test case name. Whatever I want to add, prepone before the test case name, new test case part. And this is the test case name. Log in to the ready page with invalid credential, set 1. And after that, I want to make something that test case started so that user can get some visibility. Okay. Then what are the steps performing? Let's open it. Try to understand the code. What is the step performing? Navigate to the URL. Right? Where? Navigate to the URL. Other thing is blank. These two part is blank, so it is not an URL. It is trying to paint it here as well. And doing the operation same way. Set text, username and name field. What is the value is printing out? This is the way other field. And this is the click operation, so there is no value at all. This is the first one. And another test is getting start. Log into the ready page with invalid credential, set 2. This step is starting here, and this is the operation is performing. So you could see this is the other operation is performing. Another test case is getting started. Click on the forget password link in the ready page. Right? It is also doing. Opening the URL, entering user ID password, and clicking on the forget password link. Right? Let's try to add one more test case here. Click on the ready new page home page. Navigating to the URL and simply clicking on that one. and all test case got passed. Now what I'll do, so here it was only total 4 test case set was there, right? Say this is the 4. I can create one more test case, copy it, paste it here. Okay, I can give the test case name as unique. Click on the ready page directly without entering that part and simply remove it. Okay, the other two thing you can just remove. This is the new test case I am adding. That is the beauty. Once your framework is set up, and in case you are adding new variable, then you need to map it with your properties file. In case you are adding new methods or keywords or operation, you need to map with that one. That is the only thing you need to do. And whatever value you want to change, in case you want to change any value, other value, right? Or maybe here you can give something called, okay, like open Facebook page. Okay, open Facebook page simply. Like you can just want to add new method. Open Facebook page. So what URL you can give? You can give something called URL1. Here instead of that, what I'll do, I'll be giving to the object properties, and instead of that one, I can give something called URL. Okay, and here I can change the value. HTTPS www.facebook.com. That's all. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll change the value here. That's all. New desk is added. So you could see now, save the code and let's see what's happening. So your execution will be done by step whatever we have given. Okay, you could see Facebook page also got open, right? So that is the way you define the keyword, and you can define the variable, the name and value, it will work. Okay, so you could see last discuss whatever added. Okay, open Facebook page, just as usual, navigate to URL. What URL is passing? Facebook URL. Now you can add one more test case. Open Facebook page, right? I can add other stuff. Okay, set text, say Facebook uname. Facebook password. Okay, and here you can need to give the variable name. Facebook uname. What is the way I am entering? I am trying to interact with the name variable, or I can give something with that ID. Same way, both the thing ID, right? I can map, and I can give something called Facebook password. Okay, now I need to give that ID variable name for both the fields. So I will open the Facebook page. Okay, what is the thing is there? Press F12 button here. Let's go here, see what is the ID. ID is email, and for the password it is password. It is pass ID, right? So I can try to understand the ID. Okay, both. So what I will do here, I will be giving at, okay, this I will change it to here ID pass. here it is mail, right? What was that? Sorry, forget it again. It is pass and it is email. Otherwise it will throw the error. Okay, email. So that part is done, and now what I can do, okay, this part is done, this is updated, and here I can give something called Haradhan call and say new 3. Let's close it. Let's see what's happening there now. Okay, email pass is there. Some problem might be there. You need to identify the root cause and then debug and fix it. Okay, what's the problem happen? Unable to locate element name. Name login, right? Something may be changed here. So you need to make sure that all the variables are uniquely you are defining it. Okay, in case of any problem it will throw the error, so better to have the uniquely defined. Open Facebook page. What is the error coming? Inbuilt cancel set to unable to locate name equal to login. Okay, this one maybe it is having some problem. So you can, in case it's still not working, you can change it accordingly. Okay, navigate to URL. Let's run it again. Might work. In case sometime you open the all the class, it might throw some error. You could see test case got passed successfully. So that is the way. In case you are doing any mistake here, right? Maybe instead of the email, right, email 1 you are typing, it will fail because it is not able to understand. Let's close it. You need to close that one and all the Excel file. Now it will fail the test case. So that one time activity you need to map everything, and after that, in case you are adding any new stuff, you need to map it accordingly. All the new field, new variables, right, new methods, you need to map it. And this test case will fail because why? Reason is not able to understand the thing, right? Whatever is there, right? Whatever method is not able to locate it, right? Email 1, you could see that is coming also clearly mentioning selected email 1. So you can take it and you can go here and you can simply search it. What is email 1? right? It is highlighting. That is the way. Because in case you are very big code, you are not able to easily possible, right? So that is the way it is your keyword driven framework. Now I'll go to the hybrid framework. So all the stuff will be still same, but your logic will be here different. Here will be using the keyword and hybrid both the approach. So the keyword and data driven approach, right? So I am defining again web driver. I am creating a test case here, and I am creating a data provider. So let's go to the data provider first. In the data provider, I am creating a class for the Excel reward. This one. I am going to the sheet here same way. I am again trying to get the number of part here. I am giving the different approach, last row and first row. Okay. So here I am starting with I equal to 0 plus 1 till less than row. I am going to the row. Okay, but it's starting from I plus 1. You could say I have changed the different approach, because first row I am getting starting from the I plus 1, means first row I am keeping it again. So again I am another loop. I am trying to get that I and j value from the cell. I and j is nothing but the row and key value pair combination, and it will give you the cell value. So that is the way I am returning that object, I and j object, right? Two-dimensional object I am returning it here, and this is my data provider name, whatever you learned in the TestNG. And then this is my test cases which is mapping it to here, and before that I am creating the again read properties file object same way, whatever I have written, all this stuff is still same. Okay, and I am doing the operations. Okay, so before coming it here I am just changing the approach little bit different here. So same way, it is nothing but same way. If my test case name not equal to null and test case length not equal to 0, in case it is not equal to null, not equal to 0, when some value is there, every time I will try to open the browser and maximize it, or remaining time I will do the operation. So that is the way I am segregating it. In case my test case is having the value, so I will be creating a new browser and I will be doing the operation. Otherwise same thing, I will be doing the operation from calling the perform method. That's all. That is the difference. But here we are using the data driven and keyword approach, both different approach. Now if you try to execute this test case and let different, you need to close it. Otherwise sometime it might throw error. Run it. You will be seeing the differences. So here whatever only test case, only one test case executed, right? Whatever error was there, you can get it. Now you could see the differences. Here every row it will be considered as a test case, because it is varying the data as well as it is using the keyword driven approach. Okay, every time it will open the browser, new browser for every test case. When quit it later point of time, we have some extra code. That is the logic. It can have n number of logic. It is not like that you are only having fixed logic. So every people can have their own logic. Every organization will be having their own logic, right? You can also implement new logic. Okay, so all my test cases got executed, and if you come here, you could able to see total number of test cases is 22. Why? Because you are having so many rows. You could see total 23 rows, including the first column, it is 22 rows. So it is considering 22 test case. This one to this one, right? You could see now. You could see test case method. This is the package name, this is the class name, this is the method name, and whatever way every test case considered. Set text password, right? All the way, same way, right? 22 test case. If you go here, you could also able to see same way. You can understand what is the way it is working. So that is the way. All the other stuff will be same, but you need to change the logic in the hybrid framework. Okay, and after your framework setup is done, you can add n number of operations here. Whatever operation you think, suppose say I want to select sample from the drop down, so you need to enable that one for selecting the drop down field, right? You need to give the corresponding value, you need to identify the object, with the help of that variable name and the element reference, and you need to give the value in the properties file. So that is the way your real-time thing will be there, and you can definitely able to work on that one. So I'll be sharing that complete framework part so that you can just download it and you can upload it in your project. How can you do it? If you want to some add some project, you can import or export, right? You can export the whole project. Okay, so if you select the whole project, if you click here, you can export, right? Like that is the way you can do it. General, right? You can see something called file system, you can export it. Apart from that, if you want to import some project, you can go to file, new, okay, and I think import. Okay, here you could see the project from folder or archive. You can click and you can give the path here, folder, other stuff, then you can import it as well. So the automatically will work. After that, you can just add the reference so that you don't need to like have all this stuff in the real time. Okay, and that is the way, right? You can try to define the different framework, data driven, keyword, and hybrid. Let's yeah, maybe I'm not saying that this is the only stuff. You can complicate this framework in very complicated way, and you need to deal with 1000 disk, 2000 disk, because you need to add some more code and some more plugin and other stuff. Okay, but this is the approach, basic approach I have tried to cover so that you can get some idea. Okay, that how to deal with the data driven framework, keyword driven framework, hybrid framework. So your code and everything will be different or entity, right? And how real time, right? How you need to understand that you will be creating different packages, right? You will be creating different classes altogether, so that your debugging part will be very easy. You can understand the problem easily. Okay, and in the last session I'll cover that BDD framework, behavior driven work, how to create the features file, step difference and class, all this stuff. And that is the way you'll be getting that good knowledge, and I am confident that in case you are able to, right, understand this concept, and after that you can go to the advanced part. But in case you are able to go with this concept, you will definitely able to create the framework from the scratch by your own, and definitely you can start your journey in the automation world. Okay guys, that's all. Thank you.